I'm not gonna lie to y'all, My Hero Academia could have been an S tier show, but in my opinion, it fumbles a few things. So I want to go over some of the biggest fumbles in My Hero Academia, at least from my casual perspective. Alright, first off, why the fuck didn't we get a Stain versus Endeavor fight? I mean, Endeavor literally starts either the episode or the mini arc looking for Stain to take him down or capture the guy.
Don't tell me that man is... Endeavor.
And the fight not only makes sense because you got a very powerful protagonist within walking distance of a very powerful antagonist, but you're about to kill the fucker off anyways. Why not have them fight to the death? Like, it's not like it's a shonen anime or anything. But also, if Endeavor beats and captures Stain, it would make a lot more sense on why we see him walking out of a fucking prison a few seasons later when they tell us he died. But besides making sense, because obviously nobody gives a fuck about that, you could get a lot out of having an Endeavor Stain fight. First off, you could send Endeavor in 2 directions, or pretty much many more, because you could send Endeavor in 1 or 2 directions. You could have him capture or kill Stain out of revenge and show that although we find out he's an abusive father, he actually has deep admiration for his comrades and is pissed that Stain put several of his co-workers in a blunt. Or you could have him do the exact thing Stain was out to prove by making it obvious that Endeavor does not care about his fellow heroes and does not care that Stain put several of his co-workers in a blunt, including Native's bitch ass, who should have been the 8th. He should have been some Delta 8 or whatever the fuck people are smoking nowadays. He should have been all of that. Moving on. Endeavor captures or even kills Stain because he's overdoing it, so to not only show off in front of his son, but to get the glory and fame to catch All Might because he's number 2 and All Might's number 1, and that's how rivalries work. Then Stain gives his little speech as he passes out. Or on an even lesser note, it would have been nice to see the power gap between Endeavor, Todoroki, and Deku, because I genuinely believe that Endeavor is 2.5 fights away from being a fan favorite, but more on that later. This next one is a personal hot take, so don't take it as serious as the previous, just hear me out, alright? I cannot think of a show that could get away with killing more characters than My Hero Academia. Genuinely, My Hero Academia is a show where pre-Shigaraki buff, or even after, alright, if he gets all his powers except regeneration, you can name multiple 3 to 5 man teams that would solo the main antagonist group without the main character. Genuinely. I'll think about it and give you 3 3-man teams right now. I bet. So first team, Time Limit All Might. Eraserhead, K Wood the base god. K Wood solos the League of Villains because he already did it when they rescued Bakugo. We saw Eraserhead and Time Limit All Might already beat the dog shit out of a Nomu twice in one fight, and Shigaraki is basically a wingless Nomu. I actually think he does get wings. I don't remember. I know he flies. I can't remember how. Anyways, team 2, Endeavor, Best Genius, Lil Lemillion, right? Which is funny because they actually did it until the plot kicked in. And last but not least, let's go Gang Gorka, the DJ announcer guy, I still don't remember his name, and Bakugo. Alright, the DJ has an inescapable death scream with a massive AoE. They only showed it off once, but if you paid attention, he has a literally inescapable death scream. Second is Gang Orca. If I remember correctly, he has the clones and he can box, alright? And that might not be his only trick for real. And then Bakugo can bump with just about anybody. I don't think Bakugo can box just about anybody in this show, honestly. Especially Final Patch Bakugo. Anyways, in that last team, you can sub out whoever you want for Hawks or Deku, alright? But I did that because, in my opinion, Ida should have died, or at least suffered, at the very least suffer what Rock Lee went through. After the Stain arc, right, Ida becomes a talking head, alright? He only contributes to the story through his words, not his actions. And given this takes place at a literal school, and you introduce new characters in the following season, Ida's role can be entirely replaced, and you could argue that it does, because like they shelved the guy anyways. Outside of kicking a Nomu in the final battle, Ida doesn't do jack shit, piss nothing. So Ida would genuinely mean more to the series dead than alive. And I know this is a PG-13 ass show and it refuses to kill characters, so in that case, Stain could have just rendered him unable to do hero work like his fucking brother, and then that would have had more impact on the story than him basically getting the anime equivalent of a sprained wrist. Quick spin back on Endeavor before the final take, alright? The second fight that I think would have changed how people see Endeavor is his fight versus Gigantomachia, who I call Giga Nigga. Endeavor knocks the dog shit out of Giga Nigga, like, and then it's just out of stamina. Genuinely, I don't understand how you're the number one hero in the world at this time and you only have enough stamina for one fucking punch. Anyways, if Endeavor would have ulted on him or even hit him with a Uzumaki Garage in one, that would have been dope and would have enhanced the legacy. But anyways, the worst part about Endeavor's brief encounter with Giga Nigga is that Giga Nigga I'm sorry, I can only say that name like 3 times before I burst out in laughter. Alright, let's see if I can get this down. The worst part about everyone's fight with Giga Nigga is that he did not, like, he had plot armor, but he didn't need it for some in-game fight. It wasn't like Shigaraki, Deku, Todoroki, Dabi. Giga Nigga is just kind of there, and he's literally only there to be a get out of jail free card. You can't make this shit up. Shigaraki actually escapes on a sea of Nomu, like a back of a Nomu. So Giga Nigga genuinely serves no purpose. He could have just lost the fight to Endeavor like he does. He loses the fight and just wakes back up for no fucking reason, unless the situation with Magic Boy happens before Shigaraki escapes. I haven't watched the season in a while. I just know it's some bullshit. I don't have the dialect to explain why that is stupid, so I'm just gonna put the cards and the evidence out there, or I already did. Cards and the evidence is out, come to your own conclusion. But while you're going through those cards, I'm gonna keep piling on. Okay, so Endeavor, Best Genius, and you could even argue Gigantalady, I forgot her name, gets hoed out of an MVP moment for essentially nothing. Everything they did, including Yaoyorozu, amounts to nothing because Gigantomachia cannot die or be incapacitated because he has to carry Shigaraki's bench ass off the freaking battlefield because he gets clapped. And anyways, but while we're here, the 2.5 fights that I think tainted Endeavor legacy is not fighting Stain, getting plot armored by Giga Nigga, alright, and the half being the Shigaraki fight, alright. Endeavor literally kills Shigaraki 3 to 4 times in this fight, but unfortunately for him, he's the main antagonist, so no matter what you do, he cannot be defeated by anyone not named Midoriya. But the worst part is, Endeavor wins the fight 3 several times or whatever, just to get one-shotted by, like, he is one-shotted by one heavy attack. Like, Endeavor is beating the Mario coins out of Shigaraki, but like I said, this is the Kingfish, and he can't be defeated by a side character, so he just lands on one punch and just, the fight's over. He just instant KO. And the worst part is, Endeavor's not even knocked out. He's just kind of sitting there out of breath. He hit you once. Alright, last but not least, My Hero Academia's biggest fumble, in my opinion, is that Shigaraki never learns how to fight. I have 12 episodes left of My Hero Academia. I'm waiting for it to get dubbed, and then Shigaraki is getting a dedicated video, okay? So that is going to be 2 dedicated videos to Shigaraki, so I'm going to try to condense this because this is really my biggest bullet point on why I dislike Shigaraki as a villain. But anyways, to all of those people who are thinking, the fuck do you mean he can't fight? Well, when we first meet Shigaraki, he pulls up, talked all that shit, and then his homie got Brawlhalla Batista bombed by All Might, and he just immediately left the function. He didn't even throw hands. He pulled up blasting all that shit, got his homie Batista bombed, and just left the function. Alright, then he gets slapped up by Stain, and not only did he get slapped up by Stain, he got slapped up so efficiently and quickly that most of it happened off camera. Alright, in the show where they dedicated a whole arc to give this guy a victory, they couldn't spare 2 minutes of a show to show him getting his butt whooped. That's how you know it was that bad. Alright, he gets punked by Sandman Snatch of all people. And the worst part about that is, he starts the fucking fight, gets hoed, and just immediately gets shoved for the rest of the episode. He does nothing. Well, actually, not only did I say he does nothing, he robs an incapacitated man. He doesn't even fight the guy straight up. He robs him while he's strapped to a chair, which would have been cool. Alright, it'll be a nice little part of the resume, like, oh, he's a villain, he's so scummy. But the problem is, he doesn't do any other villain shit. Moving on, Redestro had him hanging upside down like Kakashi did Naruto in the Bell mission, or like cow meat in a horror movie, or even better, like the dice people put on their mirror, on their little rear view mirrors, right? Alright, he gets patted up by Endeavor. Then Deku beats the Mario coins out of him, so he gets the Mario coins beat out of him like 2 times. by 2 different people in the same arc. And it's funny is other people put hands on him too. They just weren't main characters, so they couldn't go longer than just 1 or 2 punches. So he was just getting the Mario coins slapped out of him for an entire, like literally, this was supposed to be the end of the anime from my perspective, and he's just getting the Mario coins beat out of him. And he's supposed to be the main antagonist. That's not even talking about what Captain America and her buff ass did to him. Alright, we're gonna get into that in the dedicated video. But anyways, Shigaraki genuinely cannot box. And when All For One takes over his body, All For One just spams AoE attacks and thrust vectoring spears. Alright, this thing cannot box, and I highly doubt he's gonna beat the allegations with 12 episodes left, especially with how the Captain America fight went. Anyways, alright, I'm gonna end on an honorable mention though. This is a personal fumble by My Hero Academia, but it is, you know what I'm saying? I understand if y'all don't see the vision with this one, alright? Yaoyorozu Batman. Now, Batman is a stretch, but Yaoyorozu could have, at the very least, been 10-10. And 10-10 goes a lot further in My Hero Academia than Naruto, alright? Yaoyorozu was set up as like this great athlete, great knowledge of weapons, drugs, and other miscellaneous things. I mean, she's literally the character that could have been like, if a villain has a weakness, she would have been the perfect person to counter genuinely any person in the show. For example, Dabi is bad at close combat. This is a bad example, but I'm still gonna rock with it, alright? Dabi is bad at close combat. He has a delay before he can produce fire again. I think he gets rid of that in the final battle. I can't remember, I have to go over it. But anyways, she can use a baton, a staff, a taser, a gun, literally anything to fight the guy close quarters. But anyways, application aside, watching her, alright, she had the talent to be genuinely anything in the show, and they make her a biological fabricator. She is a 3D printer. That's a huge fumble for me. Anyways, Gangatron, that's My Hero's biggest fumbles in my opinion. I got a couple more if y'all want to pound too. If not, it is what it is. I'm also thinking about doing a I might actually make that video. If I have some time, I'm gonna write it out, bro. I was gonna do it for one of them. Endeavor is probably the most hoed character in the show, and I kind of want to explain the family part too, so I might have to rewatch My Hero Academia for a 3rd time. But yeah, Endeavor might get a dedicated video, and then if y'all need me to double down on some of these, I can. I mean, the Shigaraki can't fight thing is what it is. It's getting doubled down on in the final video on Shigaraki. What else did I say in here? The Endeavor thing, I guess I would double down on in a dedicated Endeavor video. So if y'all like Ida doesn't have to die, hey, I can talk about it. Yeah, I'll just throw it in the next video. But anyways, until we meet in that video or the comments, remember, even though man, because we know we up next, sponsored by Atari, and